Early December. Oh, I guess that's right. Biff, I may hold that gas price story till tomorrow now.
Second, ahead of Alabama in the new rankings. Georgia remains number 1. Cincinnati's 4th, followed by Notre Dame and Michigan. The new playoff rankings come out tomorrow night. I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network.
Live and local conversation for the Ohio Valley continues shortly. Here on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Toyota-thon is on, and Toyota's full lineup of four-wheel and all-wheel drive vehicles combine our legendary reliability with the safety and handling necessary to take on any terrain, element, or adventure that comes your way. And with 12 available models, including Camry, Venza, and the all-new Corolla Cross, there's a style for everyone. Visit buyatoyota.com for the latest offers and to find a dealer near you. Toyota, your four-wheel and all-wheel drive specialists. Let's go places.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together, we will get through this.
The Highlands Event Center is the area's premier destination for conferences, workshops, employment fairs, weddings, and more. With 4,000 square feet of space, the Highland Event Center can accommodate events large and small. Situated in the heart of the Highlands, guests can enjoy the many restaurants, retail stores, entertainment, and lodging options. To check out everything the Highlands Event Center has to offer, head to thehighlandseventcenter.com or call 833-639-7070.
You think buckling up is a personal choice? That it doesn't hurt anyone else? You would be wrong. Your choice could shatter the lives of your family, friends, and everyone you know. That's why we enforce seatbelt laws, to save lives. Think about that every time you drive. Buckling up isn't just a good idea, it's a choice between surviving a crash or not. Make sure you and everyone in the vehicle buckles up every time. Click it or ticket. Paid for by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Want to buy your own home but think you can't afford it? What if you got down payment assistance or a discounted interest rate just for being a recent college grad, teacher, nurse, or veteran? The Ohio Housing Finance Agency offers this and more, and our programs are always available for eligible Ohioans, big city, small town, and everywhere in between. Find out if you qualify at myohiohome.org. That's myohiohome.org. Home ownership, ready when you are.
Hello, everyone, from the Watchdog. I'm the storm tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your Monday. Look for clouds and sunshine mixing, a cold day with a high near 39. The overnight low of 31 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Clouds and sunshine mixing for your Tuesday with highs in the lower 40s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Welcome to Monday.
It's Thanksgiving week.
What are you thankful for?
You know what I'm thankful for? Huh? I'll tell you what I'm thankful for.
I'm thankful I'm not a turkey this week.
Oh, yes, you are.
I am not.
You jive, turkey. See?
This bickering is pointless.
Let's not get into it. We have a show to do.
All right.
Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Gobble, gobble. Okay, it's showtime.
Live and local in the Ohio Valley. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Well, it looks like we've stabilized the temperature. We've been dropping all morning long, but right now we're sticking at 32 and even freezing, 32 degrees, Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 32 here at my home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, 32 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling, in the heart of the Ohio Valley. That 32 thermometer reading actually feels like 24, so it is still a cold, cold morning outside. Going to be a cold day today. We might turn around. We've been dropping from 40 down to 32 right now. We may turn around and pick up a few degrees, but it's not going to be a particularly warm day today. Down to 24 for the overnight low tonight. Tomorrow sunny, but again, a pretty cool day. So bundle up if you are out and about this morning. Where have we been and where are we going? ABC News is tracking the tragic Christmas parade story out of Wisconsin. You can add Santa Claus to the list of holiday shortages, as labor shortages and health issues mean fewer of Santa's helpers are going to be available this year. In just a minute or two, we're going to talk to Dr. Yvonne Vissing, an internationally recognized expert in children's issues, and we're going to talk about Santa Claus, and is it time to reimagine Santa Claus for a new generation? Is diversity something we got to be thinking more about? And what is the Santa spirit? She's written a series of books on this, and she will join us to talk about that. Monday morning sports wrap. Biff and I already checked out the high school football playoff picture. It looks like basically what's left for us here in the Panhandle on both sides of the river is Wheeling Central. They play in the next round this weekend on Saturday. Mountaineers won one as well over the weekend, so that's what's in our sports wrap. Price of the typical Thanksgiving dinner is going up this year. We took a look at some of the items causing the hike. We're also giving you a chance to win a Thanksgiving turkey by shooting your own turkey. Again, Peter, don't get upset with me. We're just playing a game here. But we'll be talking about that. COVID numbers are on the rise nationwide and here in our valley as well. And statistically, we are more politically divided than we have ever been before. That's not a surprise. When given a choice, Americans choose to live among people with their same political beliefs. That's not a total surprise either. What is interesting to me, and I'll share it with you, one of the two major parties is more willing to mingle in their neighborhood with the opposition. And it may surprise you, it did me, which party is more willing to mingle with the enemy. So I've got all of this coming up, something on your mind you want to talk to me about. The text line, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600. Happy to get you on the text line, or the CityNet hotline at 304-232-8255. Before we get to Dr. Vizig, Bill Cosby, yes, I know we're not supposed to talk about Bill Cosby anymore, but there's a lot of Cosby stuff in my head because he was and is, I guess, a very funny guy, setting aside all the terrible stuff that he did. But there's a classic Cosby bit where he's talking to his kids, and he's talking about his parents, their grandparents, and they're always so kind and so nice to the kids. And Cosby says, "You have to understand, these are not my parents. These are old people trying to get into heaven." Meaning grandparents tend to be a little more loving and so on and so forth. Well, now there is a study that proves that. The bond between grandmothers and their grandkids, say researchers at Emory University, is tighter sometimes than towards their own children. They scanned the brains of grandmothers, they looked at photos of their grandchildren, and as they looked at photos of their adult children, and they found the grandma's brains showed more empathy when viewing photos of their grandkids compared to when viewing photos of their adult children. The researchers say the cute factor of young kids probably still plays a role in the results. Come on, the little ones are still cuter. The old ones are now, well, they're like adults. Still, it is interesting that this is something we kind of know. Lord knows, no offense, Jason, Justin, Jonathan, Natalie, Holly, Jasmine, no offense. We do tend to pay more attention to little Teddy and Ariana than we do to the adult kids anymore. So, but now statistically proven, grandmas relate more towards their grandkids than they do to their adult children. My little buddy is here. He's doing remote learning this week. Teddy is. He's 6 years old, as you all know. And he's very excited. We watched Clifford the Big Red Dog, a new movie last week, he and I together. And he brought me today, he was very excited, he brought me and gave me a Clifford the Big Red Dog book. And he brought it in and gave it to me earlier before he started his remote schooling. And he says, "Granddad, we're going to read this book today." So, Biff, I have my game plan laid out for me.
Little bit of reading today, huh?
Going to be reading Clifford the Big Red Dog. So, little Teddy brought it in. Very excited about that for Granddad. All right, and I have a dog story I might get to it later on as well, because Biffy, believe it or not, and I'll get the details later, they're selling a dog phone, as in a phone for your dogs.
Why?
So they can call you when they need you.
Okay.
That story will be coming up a little bit later. Hey, I just gather them and bring them to you, friends. I'll do that story coming up a bit later on. Well, we talked earlier about there being a Santa shortage this year. There's a huge demand, 120% increase in demand for Santas at malls and retail places and so on. Unfortunately, what was it? The International Brotherhood of Bearded Gentlemen. Was that what it was? I think it was.
Like red bearded Santas or something.
Yeah, International Brotherhood of Bearded Santa, something. Anyways, they say that there's going to be a shortage of Santas this year because Santas are old. Some are dying. Others are concerned about COVID still. Others are, the fact of the matter is that a lot of Santa Clauses have, as the president of that society said, they got diabetes or heart disease or other problems. So there may be a Santa shortage this year. But maybe it's time for us to rethink Santa Claus a little bit. We have talked in the past, Dr. Yvonne Vissing, who is a internationally recognized children's expert, and I wanted her to come back to talk about a series of books she has on Santa Claus, the Santa series. Doctor, good morning. Welcome to our show again.
Good morning. It's so nice to be with you.
So you talk about reimagining Santa. What exactly do you mean? Let me begin with, you're not trying to tell us that there is no Santa, right? You're not trying to tell us to forget the jolly old one, are you?
Oh, I believe in Santa. Or more explicitly, I believe in the Santa spirit because there have been all kinds of Santas over time and place. And I think that we are at a point when we need to really think about what Santa is and what we want him to be, because he's always been a character of social transformation.
Historically, the image of Santa Claus, as we know it now, it has historically been different, though. He's not always been. It really was the Clement Moore Night Before Christmas that kind of gave us the image that we tend to think of now. Historically, the Santa Claus image was different, and actually had several different incarnations, did it not?
Oh, you are so correct. There have been times that Santa has been tall and thin. I guess that St. Nicholas was actually a tall, thin person, and sometimes people think of Santa Claus and St. Nicholas being related, which is a debate we could go to. That Santas can be short, like little elves or the niece. They could be wearing pink or green or purple. They could be looking like anything. And in certain parts of the world, Santas have been women. So you've got all kinds of variety.
Again, what we've come to know as the Santa Claus figure now kind of came out of the Clement Moore. 'Twas the Night Before. I think I'm right. Came out of the Clement Moore. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. The big belly and the beard and all that kind of stuff. But he has been different before. Is it time for us to revisit that image?
Well, Howard, I think you're right, because as you pointed out, there's a Santa shortage, but there's not a Santa spirit shortage. People, I think, are looking to make joy and happiness and do for other people. And that's what we really want to keep alive. So I think that this notion of an older man who's white, who's overweight, who smokes, it's receiving a lot of blowback, I think, in contemporary society. Are you aware of how the demographics of children are changing in the U.S.?
Well, I'm not sure what you mean. I may or may not be. What do you mean by how the demographics of children are changing?
All right, the majority of children right now, if we look statistically, because I'm a pediatric and community sociologist, all right, the majority are children of color. They could be mixed race, they could be mixed culture, but the notion of the majority of children being white Christian children in the U.S. Is no longer the norm. And so we are talking about how can we make Santa relevant. I guess that there was a family in Arkansas last Christmas who they're African American, and they had an African American blow-up Santa that they put on their yard, because people have reindeer and snowmen and so on, and that they received hate mail from people because they said Santa couldn't possibly be black. And the question is, well, why not?
I am laughing because how ridiculous is that? Santa is a created character. Santa can be whatever you want him to be and whatever you choose to see, however you choose to see him. It's not funny that they receive threats and stuff, but I have to laugh at that. Santa's not really black. Oh my God, Mick. Who says so?
You're so right. I've gone back in my book, Reimagine Santa, and I started looking at the history, and it's really interesting. So, for instance, we all have history lessons that make us love Abraham Lincoln, but I found that Lincoln used Santa Claus as psychological warfare during the Civil War, so that Santa wasn't going to come and help and gift the Southern kids, and Santa was a big supporter of the Yankee troops. Isn't that amazing?
I like that. I didn't know that. I don't think I like that. I like Abraham Lincoln, but I don't think I like that idea.
Yeah, so if you go and look at some of the photographs by Nast, you'll start to see a whole lot of these kind of pictures that were made. So you're right, Santa can be whatever we want him to be, and I think that's what we need to be thinking about is what do we want Santa to be, and what moral lessons and things do we want our children to have. So for me, I love Santa, and I think children have a right to use their imagination and to have fun and to be cared for, to know that they are loved, to have enough to eat, to have a home, to be safe. And so how can we use Santa to help facilitate these loving messages?
The Santa Spirit's a good phrase. I like that, and I think that we all should be aware of and hopefully teach the Santa Spirit. But I think sometimes it's easier to teach it when you have a visualization of it. But everybody might visualize it a bit differently. Is it your suggestion that we ought to be seeing more diverse Santa Clauses? I mean, in the malls and in the, whatever? I mean, should we see more diverse Santa Claus figures out and about?
I don't think that would be a problem. We can make Santa be whatever, again, we want Santa to be. But let's look at, I like the old Santa. I grew up in Indiana, near Santa Claus Land, Indiana. And the Santa Claus Land was the first theme park before Walt Disney ever created Disney World. And my dad and the guy who founded Santa Claus Land were good buddies. And so I grew up seeing Santa as this wonderful, magical guy in a red suit. And I also saw that same guy come to my house as a little kid and give me little pine trees to plant in my yard. He gave my brother and me 100 trees, little seedlings to plant. So for me, I never had a problem with Santa being a real person and this wonderful character. If you talk to children, they love Mickey Mouse. Now, they know that Mickey Mouse isn't a real little rodent, right? Kids can believe in two things at the same time. So having the ability to look at Santa from a variety of things, saying that there's goodness and joy and altruism in all kinds of people. It's not exclusive to one type.
How do you suggest adults treat Santa in their children's lives? How should they teach about Santa? How should they formulate Santa? How should they visualize Santa? How should they get the Santa Spirit infused into the season and into the character?
I think that's a great question. I think the first thing is to not lie to children. Some parents say, I don't want to tell my kids about Santa because I don't want to lie to them. So don't lie to them. All right? Santa is a wonderful spirit that all kinds of people can emulate. And having the figure of the Clement Moore type is fine because he's a transition character for children to start to developmentally, psychologically extrapolate the ideas and then apply them to other people. So I think that it's fine to have the traditional Santa and to also talk about Santas being in other people. I mean, it's very confusing for kids to go to the mall and it's like, well, which one's the real one, And so you want to avoid that because a lot of people can dress up like Santa. We can dress our dogs up like Santa, In Africa, they've got a Santa called Mama Tinga Tinga. And so she's the African Santa, and it's usually a black woman, all right? So finding diversity doesn't take away anything from the original concept. It just expands our vision.
I think you hit a really important point, at least in my mind, and that is that children understand more than we think sometimes. When I was a kid of Santa age, my mom and dad would take me to the various and sundry Santa Clauses around town, over the course of the holiday season. Now, I knew the real Santa Claus was at Stone and Thomas department store. But I knew all the others were just Santa's helpers. I was able to make that distinction between the people who were Santa's helpers and Santa Claus. So I think we don't give kids enough credit for understanding Santa in the context of a child's mind.
Oh, that's right. And kids are much smarter about piecing reality together. They're observers of life, and so if parents like Santa, then kids are going to like him. If parents got cheated or have all kinds of views of Santa being a discriminatory character who doesn't gift to certain kids or certain types of kids, then why would they like him, right? So parents have tremendous power over how kids see them. Howard, I have a suggestion for what parents could do that would be very practical on this Santa issue. Could I tell you about it?
Sure.
All right. I think that we start looking at how we gift. And Santa, in the context, has a sleigh. He cannot carry a pony and a bicycle for all the children of the world, right? And so if you're going to give to everybody, then everybody can have a little bit, but nobody gets big stuff, expensive stuff, or a lot of stuff. So if we all just said, Santa's going to deliver things in our stocking. There's a big history about stockings that we could talk about at another time. But that, if every kid had a stocking, then parents wouldn't feel financially pressed. Because kids talk and say, what did Santa bring you? And so you want to create some equality, so that kids don't feel like Santa discriminates, and that you got a better Santa than I got. If you give mom and dad...
I just want to stop and say, I think that's... I want to interrupt you for a second, because I think that's a really important thing. And I must be honest with you, as a grandparent now, I don't know if I wrestle with this as a parent, but as a grandparent, I wrestle with it. My wife and I were just discussing this last night. We were looking at the list of things we bought for our grandson, and I'm thinking, man, sometimes I think we overdo it. And then I think, and we've actually had to caution our grandson, and if you have to do this, it probably means you're wrong. We've had to caution him. Now, you don't need to tell your friends how many things you got, because it does create, there are a lot of his friends who get one or two things. Our grandson gets a lot. And I think, it's bothersome to me as an adult. I'm concerned about that. Want to do for the kid, but I also wonder what I'm teaching him when we just give him everything he wants.
Yeah, I think so. And I would encourage you to put your name on the presents from you, so that when your grandson gets bigger, he's going to know that you're still going to give him presents, and that doesn't stop. I think some kids are afraid that if they quit believing in Santa, that they're not going to get anything. And come on, Santa's elves do not make electronics, and if they break, you take them to Best Buy or wherever. You don't send them back to the North Pole. And so there creates a reality, that Santas can bring little things that are remembrance. I've got this book called The Legend of the Santa Stocking. Can I send it to you? And it looks
I would love that, sure.
What if we all on Christmas Eve wrote little notes about one another, about what we love about one another? I bet your grandson would have all kinds of things that he loves about you that have nothing to do with material objects. Like, I love my grandma's cookies. I love playing Monopoly with you, and you put all of these things in each other's stockings. And then on Christmas morning, you can open them up. And if you get nothing else, you will find all the slips of paper that people put in that tell you that you matter and you're special and you're loved. What a great gift would that be?
I think it sounds like a great idea. The problem is that you're bucking culture right now. And I'm with you. I conceptually am with you. But we're talking about changing a culture in this society, the culture of over giving if you can at Christmas time. You're really trying to reshape a culture that is ingrained in a lot of people.
Yeah, we're talking about a social movement. That's correct. And it is hard because the department store Santas were created specifically to sell, right?
Sure.
And so that's why they have them. During World War II, when all the soldiers were away at war, women were department store Santas. And then when the men came back, they were relegated back to the kitchen to cook cookies. And so they could be using lots of Santas now that were women, but that would eliminate that problem of the brotherhood. Now, I talked to the brotherhood, and I think that they are lovely gentlemen. But I was told by one of them that I could not be a Santa because I was a woman. That I was told I could be a Mrs. Claus, and I said, but I'm not married, and I'm not a Mrs. anything.
That's interesting.
And so I think that Santa needs to kind of get with the times. He needs a facelift.
I wonder, and I literally wonder, I don't have an answer to this question. I wonder how disturbed the children would be in seeing a different kind of Santa. We know that kids tend to be more open to diversity, more, I don't know what word I want to use, colorblind, more less sensitive to some of the things that we as adults go, oh, no. I wonder how kids would react to to a female Santa, to an African-American Santa, to a Middle Eastern Santa Claus. My suspicion is they'd be okay with it.
Oh, yeah, they've had some studies on it, and the kids are okay with it. And right now I'm doing a contest called If I Was a Santa, What Would I Give the World? And it started by actually the Abraham Lincoln Museum years ago. And they had this big contest, and they had kids think about, if you were a Santa, what would you do? And so kids are thinking about Santas in different contexts. They're not going to have a problem with the diversity of it, especially if you start them early thinking about they have the Santa spirit. In one of my studies, I found that the students thought the most important thing they remembered about Santa and their childhood was the memories. Was there laughter? Was there love? Did people get along? The toys break. You outgrow the toys. You eat the cookies and candy. All right, you keep the memories in your heart forever, and that's what we want to nurture, are those good ones.
Yeah, I mean, I have 100% positive memories of Christmas as a child. One of our other talk show hosts here on the station every year does a gathering of the hosts, and he asks everybody, what was your best Christmas gift and what was your worst Christmas gift? He asks every year. And every year I say, honest to goodness, I can't think of, there is no bad memory I have. I don't remember a bad Christmas or a bad Christmas gift. The seasonal spirit just sort of always, I don't know, made me happy. Now, I suppose maybe at the time something bothered me, but in retrospect, it's the spirit of the season that just is still heavy in my mind.
Oh, that's right. And all of these winter celebrations, whether we're talking about Yule or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or Boxing Day or Diwali or, Christmas or Cullen to the Saturlina, I mean, all of them came from a spirit of building community, of let's get through these hard times together. Let's bring food and share it. Let's bring stories. Let's be there to help one another. Let's laugh. Let's sing. Let's dance. Let's drink. Let's have fun and give people little gifts to let them know, especially children, that they matter. All of this community spirit, I think, is really important. And I think that a lot of the communities make a mistake on some of this by polarizing the diversity. So I think we should be more inclusive with like the songs that we have and the activities that we have for people.
You have a series of books on Santa. 4 or 5? I can't remember.
Yeah, I have 5. I have Reimagining Santa, which is the history. I have one on how a Santa Advent calendar and something you can do for the 24 days before Santa arrives where you don't have to spend money or leave home during this time of COVID. I have this one on the legend of the Santa stocking. I have a beautiful picture book for children on the Santa spirit so that they could learn about the diversity. And I have a short read called The ABCs of the Santa Spirit for adults.
It sounds like some interesting stuff. The website is santalove.org, if I remember correctly. Am I right about that?
That's correct.
And people can find out a little bit more about you and about these ideas, and the books are there and so on. Hey, Doctor, I appreciate your time with us this morning. We may do this again before Christmas because there's some other things I want to delve into a little bit deeper that you've been talking about here. I'm out of time for the moment, but maybe we'll touch base one more time before the Christmas season is over and done with and talk a bit more. But I really do appreciate the work you've done and the thought that you have created in all of us, and I thank you for being here today.
Well, I thank you very much, and I'm wishing you and all of your listeners a very happy holiday season.
Well, I like to say
so
ho,
much.
ho, ho. Is that okay to say ho, ho, ho? Is that an okay thing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great day. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Bye
It's
now.
9:40, 20 till the hour on the Watchdog Morning Show. It is Dr. Yvonne Vissing, who is an internationally known expert in children's issues. She is, among other things, the U.S. chair of the Children's Treaty Convention. So she does an awful lot of work in this country, in her own community, and of course across the world, really, with children's stuff. It's an interesting concept. It's interesting to think about Santa Claus. We just sort of take it as it is. And nowhere in this conversation is anybody suggesting that you don't tell your kids that Santa's alive and real and he does the things that he does, because I would never suggest that. I still think Santa's around, and I can't wait till he comes on Christmas Eve for me. But, and we, Teddy and I mean, we play Christmas almost every day, almost every single day. He says, "Granddad, let's go play Christmas." And then he goes into bed and he goes to sleep, and I'm Santa Claus. And he loves the concept. And I mentioned earlier when he saw Santa Claus at the float on TV this weekend from the Wheeling Christmas Parade, he was so excited. Granddad, Santa Claus is here, and he's looking right at me. Kids have a connection with Santa, and we ought to be using that maybe to teach them some things. I know that's antithetical to what we want to see at Christmas time. Just get them gifts, but I think teaching them some things is important. The concept of the Santa spirit. And I think this concept of the Santa spirit coming through Santa Claus is helpful to Christians who worry that the season gets lost in the commercialization of it. If we think more about the Santa spirit, it almost becomes more of the spirit of giving and caring and compassion, which, let me see. Who else taught those things? Oh, yes, Jesus Christ. I remember that now. So, interesting stuff. If you want to find more of the website, santalove.org, and you can check on that. All right, Biffy, we better check some headlines from Metro News. Bill DeFabio has his final sports update of the morning. We've got our buddy Bob Westfall waiting in the wings to tell us what's going on today at the Big Seven, what's the news you're going to hear later in the day. And I got a few other odds and ends I want to get to. As the Monday morning Watchdog Morning Show continues.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Today,
the City Council approved the appointment of Carl Calder earlier this month. Calder has 3 decades of experience serving as a special agent with the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency. He most recently led a consulting firm focused on providing program performance and information management support to private and federal groups. The appointment is historic. Calder will be the first black police chief in Huntington history. Today's ceremony will begin at 1:30 at Mountain Health Arena Plaza. I'm Alex Thomas, WVMetroNews.com.
Later on at tonight's City Council meeting, members will vote on creating a new position of Deputy Police Chief. If approved, Huntington Mayor Steve Williams plans to appoint Lieutenant Phil Watkins to the job. Crews are investigating a fire and chemical spill stemming from a tractor trailer on I-77 in Mercer County. It happened just after 8 o'clock last night. The tractor trailer was said to be hauling acetic acid. A new funding formula for West Virginia's colleges and universities could be considered during next year's legislative session. State Higher Education Policy Commission Chancellor Dr. Sarah Armstrong Tucker told lawmakers during interim meetings last week Their goal is to identify different funding priorities for each institution.
One of the things that we've heard loud and clear from past formulas is that our institutions are not the same. They have different missions, and so we need to account for that mission differentiation in the model.
Read more at WVMetroNews.com. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. A proposed Virgin Hyperloop 1 project in West Virginia is expected to get a financial boost from the new federal infrastructure law. Executive Director of Vantage Ventures at WVU, Sarah Biller, says grant applications go out soon.
As early as this Friday, we'll submit a grant that will enable the baseline funding and anchor our private partners to us to begin really seeing West Virginia as a place where advanced surface transportation has a home.
The technology is meant to reduce travel time. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Carrie Hudasek.
A thriller in the NFL on Sunday Night Football as the LA Chargers beat the visiting Pittsburgh Steelers 41-37. This is Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, it's a big loss. You never like to lose football games. You like to go on runs like we had, but it's a good football team. We came to their place, and things happen. There's still some time left.
How about LA quarterback Justin Herbert? He threw the game-winning TD late in the fourth quarter.
Just get him the ball. That's one of those things that you love to see. And Mike Williams, I told him to be ready on that route. And we've kind of seen it all game and talked about it on the sideline. And to go out there and execute on the field, big time for us.
By the way, Herbert on the night, 3 TDs for 382 yards, and he rushed for 90 yards. Steelers dropped to 5-4-1. Quarterback Tyler Huntley, in his very first NFL start, led the Baltimore Ravens to a 16-13 win over the Chicago Bears.
I think if I was feeling the pressure, we probably wouldn't even won this game. You just gotta go with the flow and about winning the game.
Cleveland beat the Lions 13-10. The Bengals all over the Raiders 32-13. By the way, the Bengals will host the Steelers Sunday. But Sunday was a great day for Colts running back Jonathan Taylor. He rushed for 185 yards and 5 TDs in the Colts win over the Bills 41-15.
No, same thing each week, same method. Go out there each and every single week, grind and practice to have it translate and have it come to life on the field on Sunday.
The AP football poll, your top 5, number 1, Georgia, followed by Ohio State, Alabama, Cincinnati, and Notre Dame. The Penguins, they're on the road tonight. They beat the Winnipeg Jets. I'm Bill DeFabio on Sports.
The Variety Show with Bill DeFabio is live on the Watchdog Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We talk to some of the region's best business owners while keeping you informed about area events and happenings. You won't believe who I have on next. Tune in and get with the program. Guests from preachers to pros and even some Super Bowl champions. Join me, Bill DeFabio, from noon to 2 for the Variety Show on the Watchdog.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gellner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at GellnerLaw.com.
We'd like to help.
New Belgium Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available in West Virginia and distributed locally by Wine and Beverage Merchants. With its toasty and biscuit-like malt flavors blended perfectly with hoppy freshness, it's bound to become one of your new favorite craft beers. Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available at local retailers. Please don't drink and drive and drink responsibly. From your friends at Wine and Beverage Merchants.
Toyotathon is on, and Toyota's full lineup of four-wheel and all-wheel drive vehicles combine our legendary reliability with the safety and handling necessary to take on any terrain, element, or adventure that comes your way. And with 12 available models, including Camry, Venza, and the all-new Corolla Cross, there's a style for everyone. Visit buyatoyota.com for the latest offers and to find a dealer near you. Toyota, your four-wheel and all-wheel drive specialists. Let's go places.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic fields. Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No memberships required, so visit highlandsports.com to find your next entertainment experience and get ready to reach new heights.
This holiday season, give family and friends the gift of a night out at West Banco Arena and Capitol Theater. With tickets and gift certificate offerings, there's something for everyone. Call 304-233-7000. That's 304-233-7000.
Does your company's website work for you? Is it helping attract new clients and improving your brand awareness? If not, or you don't know, contact the team at Omni Strategic Technologies. With expert web developers, they build amazing web experiences that help their clients perform better. Contact Omni at 304-242-7600 or visit them at www.omniperforms.com.
I'm not buying till I checked on for.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at doanford.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
The Highlands Event Center is the area's premier destination for conferences, workshops, employment fairs, weddings, and more. With 4,000 square feet of space, the Highland Event Center can accommodate events large and small. Situated in the heart of the Highlands, guests can enjoy the many restaurants, retail stores, entertainment, and lodging options. To check out everything the Highlands Event Center has to offer, head to thehighlandseventcenter.com or call 833-639-7070.
You're never too far from the most local programming in the Ohio Valley. Find us here. AM 1600 and 1370. FM 98.1 and 97.7. We are the Watchdog. The Watchdog.
Live and local for the Ohio Valley. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
I can see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs.
It's 9:50, 10 to the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Coming up after the 10 o'clock news break, it's Hoppy Kurtzwell, statewide talk line. Today's the start of the deer season in West Virginia, Bippy, and the folks in the DNR will be in to talk about deer season. There's been a pro-labor caucus created by the Republican Party in the legislature in West Virginia, something a bit unusual. Delegate Evan Worrell will be coming in to talk about that with Hoppy Kurtzwell. And wrapping up the weekend at WVU, Tony Caridi and Brad Howe on WVU football team win over Texas, and also the basketball team as well. So that's all coming up today. Statewide talk line, Hoppy Kurtzwell, after the 10 o'clock news break. Is Bob with us yet?
Still waiting on Bob.
Then I got to take a minute to tell you this dog phone. When I saw this story, I thought this can't be right, but it is. Dr. Ileana Hiskell Douglas at the University of Glasgow in Scotland has created a dog phone. It is exactly what it sounds like, a phone for dogs. The phone has a small ball equipped with a sensor connected to a laptop. So when a dog moves the ball, I suppose with their snout or their paw, when the dog moves the ball, the phone makes a video call to the dog's owner. Do you think the dog thinks to itself, whoops, I better call Howard. Whoops, I better call Brad. I mean, And maybe. Now, that in itself is interesting. It's bizarre, but it's interesting. I can see how, I guess, you could train a dog to say, if you want to call your master, here's, hit this ball. Also, they can answer the phone. So if they get an incoming call on their dog phone, the dog can answer the phone. Do they go, row, row, instead of hello? I mean, oh my God. Dr. Douglas says the phone was invented as a way to study the way that dogs experience technology. He has a Labrador retriever named Zach. He says it was very exciting when he started getting video calls from Zach, but eventually he got tired of it. She was calling him all the time. The dog was calling the master all the time. And when he wouldn't answer the phone, the dog got anxious, thinking that he wasn't at home or left her behind. Oh, my God. Well, if you want to buy something for your dog, I guess, I don't know where, it doesn't tell me where to find it, but the dog phone is out there. God help us. You all made fun of me when I got a phone for grandson Teddy. How about one for the dog? Honest to goodness. Let's see what they're working on over the Big 7 this morning. Bob Westphal is here. Good morning, Bob.
Morning, Howard. How was your weekend?
It was good. Watched the parade on the Big 7, and that was good coverage there. Enjoyed that.
It was. It turned out really well. Quite proud of the team that put it all together.
It was enjoyable. Yeah. My grandson was so excited. I told the audience earlier. He was watching it with us, and when Santa came on, he said, "Granddad, Santa's here." And I went and looked, and he said, "Santa Claus is looking right at me. He's looking right at me, Granddad."
Great.
So it was good. He had a good time. I had a good time, and I didn't have to get in the cold either. I could just watch it on TV.
Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, that's the best part of having it on TV, and that you don't have to freeze while you're outside.
That's exactly right.
That's something I learned this year about high school football. My high school, Buckeye Local, actually live streamed it on their YouTube channel.
There you go.
So I can sit at home, warm couch and warm living room and watch them play football.
It's almost like being there. Yeah. What are you working on today? Some exciting stuff, I hope?
Yeah, a couple things today. Roxby Group is going to hold a testing clinic, a COVID testing clinic after Thanksgiving for those of us that are traveling, just to be safe. A little bit of a heads up. So if we're out traveling to family and friends, come back, maybe we're not so sure. Well, they're going to offer a clinic. We're going to get the details on that today. So we'll have that. A couple other things. We're looking at some shipping difficulties, some charities dealing with shipping issues. We've heard of some food kitchens and things like that having issues getting the proper supplies in. So we're going to talk to one local charity to see what kind of issues they are facing. Let's see. DK is working on COVID increase. We are seeing some numbers increase when it comes to the COVID cases. DK will have an update on that. We're seeing records pretty much across the board in some areas. So we'll have an update.
Ohio County had, I think, 73 2 weeks ago. I forget what the number was last week, 140 something, 166 this week. That's going the wrong way, Bob.
Right. So I guess it's time to listen to the governor and Baby Dog and go out and get your booster. At least that's what they're saying that's part of. So anyway, we'll have that. Following up, we've got one team left in state playoffs on either side of the river, and that is Wheeling Central after knocking off Gilmer County last week. So Scott and Chip will have something on that. Weather is going to be cold. I don't think we have any pre-ship till maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Aaron and Zach will be working on that today. So a little bit of everything. New sports weather. St. Clairsville Christmas parade kicked off this weekend. We'll have an update on that. Moundsville was this past weekend. So I guess it's officially the Christmas season.
It seems like the holiday season may be here, and Thanksgiving will be here before we know it. And oh boy.
Yeah.
So I know I asked you this before. Is all your shopping done?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Why not?
My shopping is, and I probably get shut down for this, is once you turn 18, you're on your own. So, I only have one nephew that's under the age of 18, so I'm pretty well done.
We just did a segment in the last half hour about the Santa spirit. I'm not 100% sure you've actually got that spirit, but I hear what you're saying. It's
Hey, back when I was a kid, 12 years old, you were working in a coal mine.
Bob, did you ever work in a coal mine, Bob?
Oh God, no. No, my grandfather was an amazing man because he worked in a coal mine, left the coal mine to go work in a steel mill. And my dad worked in the steel mill and threatened my life if I ever showed up to want to get a job in the steel mill.
Yeah.
Those were some tough jobs, and no. I'm not tough enough for that stuff.
So you still slave over a hot mic and work on putting the hard news together. That's the hard work you do these days.
Yeah, that's the hard work I do, absolutely. But nothing compared to what those men and women do every day.
No, it really isn't. No. I can't comprehend going underground. I mean, but people have to do it, and it's critical to our country.
Yeah.
All right, I got to run, Bob. Good talking to you. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Meanwhile, we'll check things out at noon, 5, 6, 10, 11, 5:30 statewide show, the award-winning WTRF.com, and the WTRF News and Storm Tracker 7 apps. Talk to you tomorrow. Biffy, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Are you back with me?
I am here for a Tuesday.
Then we're going to keep on going until we get it right, or until Thanksgiving comes.
That could be a long time.
Indeed.
Just look for me, you'll see that I'll be back.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
That SUV plowed through.
I don't know if Glenn.
All right, Biffy. Once we got the stream fixed this morning, was everything else okay? All right, no problems of any kind that you are aware of. All right, I'm going to double check on the turkey giveaway so we don't give away too many or too few. I mean, if we have more, we should give them away. So I will check on that, and otherwise, I guess I'm going to read Clifford the Big Red Dog today. Okay, we'll stick with that unless I hear differently. All right, tomorrow we've got Scudieri. Maybe I'm a little bit concerned about that because he's still traveling. They're over in the Mideast with the Secretary of Defense. I don't know when they're coming back, but he said he'd be on the show, so I assume we'll have Scudieri. And then I've got somebody on Build Back Better. I get 18 million people want to come on to talk about Build Back Better. There's only so much I support it, but there's only so much I can say about it. But another group coming on to talk about that tomorrow too. And we'll give some turkeys away, and we'll talk some more about Thanksgiving and who knows what else. All right. If you need me for anything, I should be around. I don't think I'm going anywhere today. I have some work to do here, which I will do at home. And otherwise, I'll talk to you in the morning. Thanks for your help. Good job today. As always, appreciate it. All right, bye.
Special buy GE Colorado Pine Pre-Lit Tree, just $158 compared to $298. Plus, Christmas lights everyday low price starting at $298. Black Friday deals live online Thanksgiving Day. Stores open 6 a.m. Black Friday. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last, tree discount taken at time of purchase. Valid through 11/24, U.S. only.
When a nasty cold keeps you up all night, Vicks NyQuil Severe gives you powerful relief from your worst cold and flu symptoms, which changes a night that sounds like this into a night that sounds more like this. Ah, that's better. NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, stuffy head, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed.
Closing arguments have now begun in the trial of 3 white men in Georgia. They are accused of gunning down and killing Ahmaud Arbery, who was out jogging when he died. Back to work for the jury in the federal civil rights lawsuits after the launch, the Wright Rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. Deliberations continue today. Several people suing the white nationalist organizers of the rally. Israel's pushing ahead with COVID booster shots for kids as young as 12. ABC's Jordana Miller has the story from Jerusalem.
Israel poised to take another aggressive step ahead of the world to fend off the Delta variant. Health experts on the COVID-19 task force here recommending the booster vaccine, the third shot, be given to 12 to 15-year-olds 5 months after their last shot. Lowering the eligibility from the age of 16 comes as Israeli data shows the effectiveness of 2 vaccines